Welcome to the latest episode of this week's Acca, sponsored by Sky Bet Acca Freeze. I'm Tom and joined back in the studio, as you can tell, by Jake, Jimmy and Joe to deliver our selections. It's the FA Cup weekend. I'm very excited. I'm sure we're all very excited. We'll be looking at those games across the 3pm, League 1, League 2, the National League, anything going to deliver our Acca in the usual manner. Let's know your thoughts in the comments all through Sporting Life's football social media channels, and remember as ever to keep it fun. Never bet more than you can afford. This podcast is 18 plus. Please gamble responsibly. Back in the studio. Hello everyone. Nice to see everyone in 3D
Happy New
again.
Year in person.
Yeah, Acca-wise has not been a happy New Year. Do you want to divulge and have the breakdown now and get it out of the way with, and it's done.
Not really.
Less said the better, right?
And as well,
That's the analysis. That's done.
I think that, 1st of January, do you know when people say, I'm going to do dry January and all that, then 1st of January don't really count, bank holiday. Still counts as like the last year. So for me, this is like first podcast of the year. Christmas period, that all counts as last year. This is the first one now. We recorded it in 2023. True. So here we go.
I, for what,
Slate.
was immensely proud when I saw the 50-1.
Ah,
I don't know how the Acca got on. I didn't watch
terribly,
the
they
show,
all
but
lost,
my
but
word, 50-1.
They all lost.
Incredible effort.
Shrewsbury pitch thing won. So
Yeah, man.
yeah.
think about it. Think about it. That's all I'll say.
Circuitry.
Yeah, circuitry. On to this week. Should we just quickly get on with it? Because I want to brush aside last weekend and pretend it didn't happen, or the Monday, I should say. It's the FA Cup. How are we all feeling? Betting-wise, football-wise. It's my favourite weekend of the footballing calendar, this.
I love it.
The best weekend. Closely followed, of course, by the playoff finals weekend. This is the best weekend. But I think we all hate betting on it.
Nope.
That's the vibe I'm getting from certain sections of the podcast.
I'm third round is all right, like fifth round maybe. One of my favourites. Do you know when there's like when Lincoln had that run and there's maybe a couple of teams still left in it? I love that.
That's the midweek round now,
It
isn't
whittles
it?
its way down. They're trying to kill it.
Shifted it to a Tuesday, Wednesday, and it's lost its mind.
Third round, I don't mind it, but there's so many in there. It's just hard. Fourth or fifth round, I love it. Absolutely love the FA Cup. Jake hates it.
So
tell you why
two sides of the divide over there.
I'll tell you why Jake hates it.
Go on, why does he hate it?
I know why he hates it.
He's wrong here, man.
No XG for it.
Exactly, there's no data. You don't know what to do.
You can take the data from league form, but it's just unpredictable in terms of lineups. So that data is not really great. So it's unpredictable anyway. Football, we know football's unpredictable. Just look at the state of the last.
What a way to start the year.
Yeah. But
Content you all came for.
Extremely.
Effectively, we're saying you can't predict anything. So thanks for joining us here on this predictions-based podcast. Like I said, though, it is FA Cup. There's a lot of those fixtures, but there is still League 1, there's still League 2. National League that we've been to before and had some success when we've been to the National League as well. No.
There's a cracker.
We've got to have a cut-off.
But do you know what? The bookies have all the data. What the bookies don't have is the heart and fucking soul, do they? That we have.
Well, by the sounds of it, certain parts of this podcast don't have that for this competition either. Jim Rod's excited, though, I can see.
Jim's going to build like a 400,000 to 1 Acca for all outsiders. Oh, no, wait, that's Joe.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of numbers on that bet slip, which I can't wait to get into, by the way.
Yeah, and you did tell me that I was allowed to say what the most popular bets
You can say what you want.
odds checker are. The most popular bet today, I'm not sure because I haven't been following political movements, is Nigel Farage, next British Prime Minister, 100 to 1.
It's on the back of the jungle, followed closely by Tony Mowbray getting the Birmingham job.
5 to 1. That's more with it.
Donald Trump winning the presidential election.
House, I think.
This is a very weird betting, popular thing to go at 11 a.m. on Thursday, the 4th of January.
Yeah. And
Acca time.
Membry to win at Lingfield, 12-15, 18 to 1.
We'll go back on that, actually. Remember that. And we'll see if it won. Acca time. There's one team I know we're all going to have. He will, definitely.
Stenhouse Muir.
I'm going to say that wasn't high on my list. It's got to be on your long list.
I reckon him first. He was so excited.
Jim Rod, yeah. Because
Look at his little face.
you could tell you're excited for this weekend. Hit us with a potential first pick for the Acca. Then where should we go?
It's actually coming from football.
Jesus.
Right, just clear your throat.
Somebody had a good Christmas.
Reset.
He's that excited.
Can't get a word in edgeways with you three. Yeah, it's from Football League. Tranmere 10-3 at Barrow.
Oh my God, I've got Barrow to beat Tranmere.
Oh,
This might be the first clash we've had in terms of we're always like, no, I don't fancy it. I don't think we typically get where one, the other.
There's only one thing to do, right? Fight.
Yeah, I think that's trademarked by Harry Hill. We might be getting sued here. To be honest, it's a game I want to avoid completely. But I'm willing to hear you out. Why
I
Tranmere?
can't believe you're going against Tranmere.
Yeah, I know. It hurts me a lot.
What have you become?
I backed them a lot recently.
I
For good reason, to be fair to them.
I just thought after the Wrexham defeat, Pete Wow wasn't happy with refereeing decisions. To be fair, McLean should have got sent off there for almost killing somebody.
He wasn't happy with the decision, but he was right. Yeah.
He was absolutely spot on, but it just struck me as something that his attitude in the post-match presser was when he was pitch side is something losing 2 players, stretched off for injury, and sort of begrudging referee decisions. It sort of struck me as the type of thing to derail a hot streak. Tranmere, on the other hand, absolutely flying Duffman, as I'm sure you're well aware. I've only lost 2 of their last 11. Like 11-8 now to get into the top, the playoff positions, just sort of gathering momentum. And what really shocked me with the latest win was Atkins got sent off. Saw him a lot when he was manager at Sheffield United, and he didn't strike me as someone with an angry bone in his body. And if
He's the loveliest man in the game. I've seen him many a time.
If he's added a bit of needle to his personality, then I'm worried about high.
This is it. This is the little edge, isn't it? They did.
Yeah. I was similar to TC, that I looked at it and I like both of them, to be honest. So I'd be keen to avoid it. And the Wrexham Barrow game, and I just want to just draw a line through for me because it's just insane. The McLean point you've made, and then they scored 3 goals in injury time, and they played to 58 minutes. Did they? 59 minutes.
Yeah.
The first half. I was at the Barnsley game and was going upstairs out for the second half, and they were still playing. Because they were showing the highlights on Sky Sports News in the first half.
A good tweet I did see on that game. There is a legitimate point if you went to that game and you're a concourse drinker. You know, you missed the first few minutes and like added time and stuff like that. There's a legitimate way or reason you would have missed all 4 goals of that game.
Yeah.
Barrow scored in the first minute and then Wrexham scored in like the 7th minute of added time onwards.
But Barrow were brilliant up to that.
To be fair, the reasons I had were Barrow's obviously home record, but then I looked into Tranmere's run, which I love. Don't get me wrong, and I'm really glad that Nigel Atkins is thriving at the moment. The games they've dropped points, recent wins came against Notts County, Harrogate, Salford, Swindon, of course, give them huge credit for that, but then look at the games where they dropped points: Walsall, Sutton, Morecambe. Chuck Barrow in that group of teams who are probably a bit more direct, a bit more kind of straight to the point almost in terms of getting the ball as quickly up the pitch as they can. Maybe that is when they're playing the slow patient teams or the more patient teams, they're getting a bit of success, but the teams go, haha, bam, there you go. That's where it kind of comes undone. And even at an odds on price, that's why. But it's irrelevant because I think we should avoid this game completely. Joe.
I agree, Tom.
Selection. Second select. Another one. Give us one on this massive long list that I can see in front of my
insane.
face.
I don't really know where to start in terms of like what is
winning one, please.
Yeah, what's good and what's not. So I'm going to start with a big one. This is kind of.
I was just gonna say, such a seasoned journal, and you look at it buying time.
Oh my god!
I'm going to start with a big one rather than just going for the one that we can all agree with.
Okay, so I am going to go with a short one. I don't know how short we're going to go. Bournemouth to win at QPR.
I don't know how I feel on this. I don't know.
Because
they're about
why you've picked.
They're about one.
No,
they're about
so
1 to 2. Aren't
I'm gonna
maybe less than that.
knock that off my list, and this is how I'm gonna go about it. Because that's why I've got these 12.
I got Bournemouth down.
And
I just don't know.
unless I'm getting ringing endorsements, I feel like we're gonna be here all day.
There's
so
there's got to be better places to go than a team at 2-5 away that just screams.
It's gone.
God knows, 1-1 draw or something stupid.
It's gone from my list. This one I'd be interested to hear about. Cambridge to win at Blackburn.
Yes. This
It's
is one
massive.
of my upsets of the weekend, but it's an absolutely hilarious big price. Like
It's huge.
8-1 talking nearly, aren't we? 17-2 or something stupid.
Yeah, it's a big old boy.
You won't get any Acca, I won't lie.
I don't like it.
General price.
love it as a single,
General
though.
price of 7-1.
Why?
Neil Harris, loves a cup upset. Did it, I think, 2 or 3 seasons in a row at Millwall. Started to turn Cambridge around. Blackburn, not on a very good run, just consistently seem to just tail off. So they'll get on a really good run of results under John Dal Thomason, and then they'll just tail off and get on a bad run of form. So they're very streaky in that way. and they're on a bad run of form at the moment. Just feels like it's one of those simple matchups that you would get only a division between the teams. One team that's playing a bit better, won 1-0 the last couple of games. They've got a wily EFL manager that likes a cup upset. You do tend to get managers from the continent that would be more likely to just change their entire 11 and not be that bothered about the FA Cup.
The continent.
So it just, it combines nicely. And Cambridge knocked Newcastle out. Was it last January or the January before? In the third round, so that'll
I
definitely
hadn't been there long, Eddie.
be on the minds of the players. So it just combines to be a really nice one as a potential upset.
Blackburn rubbish defence. That is my big point of why I put it up in the FA Cup upsets column that you can read on sportlife.com/football. Maybe you should check that out. Great plug.
Great plug by me.
By me for my own work.
Last year Blackburn did go quite far.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they made pretty much wholesale changes in the early rounds.
Blackburn last season were weird. First half of the season, right, they were winning every game, but I don't think they were very good. Second half of the season, I actually thought they were better, yet they stopped winning games. I don't understand them as a team. Cambridge win there 7-1. Take it as a single. Probably not.
Yeah.
Why can't we have it in the Acca? I don't understand.
There's got to be other ways.
These shackles that we can't have big prize teams. Isn't it?
I've rid of myself
Good bet.
long ago.
Can I have third time lucky?
Can you pick one that we
Please.
can put in this damn Acca, please?
Newport to beat Eastleigh.
Yes, I've got Newport to beat Eastleigh.
So the Newport again, traditionally strong in the cups. I know it's under previous manager, but ropey start to the season. Wholesale changes in the summer, and then they've just started to pick up a good bit of form. Strong at home. Eastleigh just middling National League team. Newport highly unlikely to be figuring up towards the top 7 in League 2 this season, and even League 2 teams anyway, they usually tend to take the cup competitions seriously. They've got to the third round now, so they've had to get through a couple of rounds to get here. It's not like they're just going to write it off like a championship team would be playing in the third round. Just playing against a team they're stronger than, 4-5 at home to beat a team in the division below feels like a pretty big price.
If it was the other way around, I'd avoid this. But again, Eastleigh are one of those that I think we've mentioned them a few times on this podcast. I know we've spoke about them before, but if they're at home, I'd be all over them. Away from home, no, they don't travel well at all in the league. That's the one thing I take away. I think this price looks pretty decent, actually, to be fair. And Eastleigh's defence as well. I said them, didn't I, on the last podcast we did? When I was just reeling off things at the end, so I'm going to take Eastleigh to beat Dagenham. I'll tell you why, because they got whacked 4-1 on Boxing Day, so they'll be angry. Finished 4-4 that game. I think they're about 4-2 up or something. So over the last 4 games, they've conceded 12 goals, Eastleigh. Thing is, they've got Paul McCallum and Scott Quigley up front as well, so it's like they can score goals, don't get me wrong. But defensively, they've conceded 3+ in each of their last 3 away games, and remarkably, they won one of those games at Aldershot as well. They are just... It's a combination of a team who haven't travelled well, who have been just leaking so many goals as well against Newport, who, for all the reasons Joe said there, in fact, was it unbeaten in 8 if you exclude the EFL trophy, which I happily will when it suits my argument. Yeah. I like this. I think this is a really nice starting point for the Acca FA Cup game.
On trend with Tom talking about the pitches for Shrewsbury, Newport's
a weird old place.
Yeah, it's shocking.
Rodney Parade.
It's
weird. Well, I mean, it's a shared pitch, isn't it?
It's like
I knew that.
It's like an actual bowl. Like the corners of the pitch go in. The windiest ground probably in the EFL. Rugby pitch, so the pitch gets to be horrendous.
Any chance we can
They're always
rugby,
good at
I'm
home.
all for it.
Yeah. So it definitely helps their home record that it's such a specific home surface.
It's half of the desk are on board.
I'm on board.
Should we take it? Yep. That's nice and easy. Then first pick of this week's Acca comes from the FA Cup. We'll take Sky Bet League 2 side Newport to beat Eastleigh of the National League, who have not travelled well. Let's take a quick break. Let's regather our thoughts, and we'll pick a second selection very shortly.
Get ahead of the beautiful game with Sporting Life Smart Stats, XG and expert analysis. Expect the unexpected, only with sportinglife.com.
We've taken Newport to beat Eastleigh then as our first selection. A nice price on that one, 2 divisions apart. Jake, I want another one, and I was saying that I'm amazed 2 teams haven't been mentioned so far. I thought it'd be the first 2 we'd go to. One of them is a team that you love, so I'm going to chuck across to you to hopefully say the team that Hopefully we're on the same wavelength here.
You're thinking Stenhousemuir as well?
Yes, actually, yes, that is it. Hit us with one from Sky Bet League 2.
No, I want to get Stenhousemuir.
Not going Stenhousemuir. I've never seen them.
No.
No.
Do you remember last time I said the same? And I put two Scottish selections up and they both won comfortably.
No.
That is
Move on.
you blowing my trumpet.
Get that seal playing its saxophone thing.
7-10 at home to 4-4.
Oh my God, we're still going Stenhousemuir.
You've got to stop.
They're at 3
Someone-
p.m. on Saturday.
You shut it
They're
down.
at 3 p.m. on Saturday.
Someone
It's actually
just
pronounced.
say.
It's actually pronounced forfeit. But anyway.
Are they the one that played a team where they won over 5-4 or something and they played someone else and it was really confusing when you said it? Can someone just say Mansfield to beat Crewe, please, and we can get on with life? Can I say Mansfield to beat Crewe?
Crew.
Do you want to talk about Mansfield?
Mansfield.
This is your platform to talk about Mansfield.
Best team in the league. I've said it all season long, but it's actually coming to fruition now. They're only a couple of points behind Stockport with 2 games in hand, so it looks like they're banging it for the title. And Crewe have just been really hit and miss recently.
I think they've been more miss.
They've been more missed, but they hit
miss and hit, I think, is the way that we should phrase that one.
They beat Bradford the other day. So yeah, that counts as a hit, right? And then
Does it?
well, yeah.
I'm just saying that because I know Dom, the producer, is the Bradford.
Are you
fan.
trying
The
to get
other room
them?
is very
Are you
angry.
trying to get them in?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not sure here.
Mansfield, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Crewe away from home, very poor. Mansfield just very strong. I think that they're the best team in League Two. So 1-2 is probably a little bit too.
No, I don't want these in. 1-2 is too short for me. I'm just looking on a website and
What website?
A
That sounded
website.
weird.
a website. The Wi-Fi is blocking me for some reason. No, I'm just looking at Mansfield went off similar price against Grimsby, a bit short against Doncaster, and I rate Crewe pretty high. They're only 8 points off Mansfield. They had a rotten run, I think, winless in 7. But they beat Bradford. I know it came by a spot kick. And I just won't be so quick to write them off. They've got a massive couple of months coming up. They play, obviously, Mansfield this week, and they've got Barrow, Inform, Tranmere, Stockport, Notts County, all to play before the end of February. And I'm looking at them thinking, I want to see what they're made of in terms of playoff credentials. And I just can't get past how short Mansfield are because there's only 8 points between these sides in the division.
They've just gone to Stockport and won 2-0 comfortably. That probably explains why the price is so short.
Yeah.
Made a right statement.
No, but I'm looking bigger picture. I'm not making snap decisions off recent results. So.
Talk about a team that's lost once all season. Yeah.
This is the thing, though. I don't get me wrong, I like Crewe as well, and we spoke about, and I think it was when we did the best League Two managers. I'm sure you went for a Crewe-based one, but it just feels right. It just feels right for a team that have lost 1 game all season, 4-9.
Just feels
In
right.
terms of the price, they say it's too short, but is it not just good home team, all right away team? Don't get me wrong, but
Crewe haven't won away. Crewe haven't won away from home in the league since October.
are you not just backing a team that we're expecting to whisper it so Mansfield fans don't get too upset? They'll probably get promoted this season. Finally, at home, they're just going to beat everyone at home, aren't they? Largely, I know they haven't. But
I get Jimmy's point 'cause I think he's on the line for value, and I reckon it don't make it in a normal EFL weekend, but it's slim pickings. When we got all these FA Cup games, cards on the table, boys.
park it. Do you want to park it very, very briefly and just see what else
I'm
happens?
not even sure.
I like it.
Yeah.
I want it in. Don't get me wrong.
I don't think we're going to find. I don't think we're going to find alternatives because I mean we can. You can park it if you want. I think it's going to be hard to find.
You get above 6. You get above 6-4 on a Newport Mansfield double.
What other alternatives are there for ones where you're like, the price feels like about right for a team that we're fairly comfortable that we think they're going to win because there aren't many of them. Anyone else?
Double it up. Get them in. I mean, you look at Crewe's last 4 away. They're winless, but the teams they've played have been poor. Like Sutton, Grimsby, Walsall, Newport. Last 4, they've not won any of them. Now they're going to Mansfield, the best team in the league. There is not a great spot for them.
Hull at home to Birmingham.
Yeah,
Be another one.
yeah.
I wanted to hear thoughts on this one. They're 4-6 Hull.
It's the old managerial change, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but I mean,
There's every chance they get a huge lift from Rooney leaving.
the lift is when you're here.
Where? Do you want to explain to podcast listeners what you're doing?
How far away I am from the mic, how far down this level was under Rooney. You can't get any lower. You can only get better. But when I looked at this, out of curiosity, when they priced up the FA Cup games to start with, Hull were odds against, which is hilarious. They were clearly better than a month ago, and they are now 4-6 for a home team. Again, I know it's cup and there's potential changes and stuff like that, but Birmingham's, the focus is not going to be on this FA Cup game. It's who's going to come in, who will be the next manager, the off-field things that are happening there. I'm not saying that anything kind of not usual in terms of the managerial change, I should say, but 4-6 for Hull at home, a team that we've been very hot on all season, manager that we like in Liam Rosenior. It just, again, looks another price that just looks right to me.
Yeah, I'd stick it alongside the Mansfield one that ordinary circumstances, you'd probably be like, there's a degree of uncertainty, but like we're fishing in the pools of uncertainty for FA Cup weekend anyway, and I've got it down as that I would have it in there, because if there was a game where I'm like, Hull are probably going to be pretty consistent, they have been all season, and even when they've lost, they've been pretty consistent. Birmingham, it's the opposite, isn't it? And like sacking the manager makes it even more so. So I would be leaning in towards the getting Hull in there.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, 7-10 generally. I think just get him in.
Just got my doubts about the potential uplift from Birmingham players. Shackles off, Rooney's gone. Hip hip hooray.
I think to me it just screams, let's just get this game out of the way with. If it was a league game, there's probably more emphasis, but get the game out of the way with. Let's just focus on getting a decent appointment made and then go from there.
Yeah, if you guys want it in, I'm a big fan of Hull. It's just the old managerial change just before it. A little bit of a thrower, but yeah, go for it. Treble it.
It's not a managerial change, it's managerial sacking though, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is the thing.
Yeah.
They've sacked him.
They obviously weren't enjoying.
There is another team that I'm going to completely flip this argument on when I mention them later on, so ignore that. But for this team, I'm going to say it doesn't matter. There's going to be no difference.
Yeah, that's fine, mate.
I seen Rooney's son slagging Birmingham off. No, slagging Birmingham.
Well, that's what
You seen
they.
it?
Well, it says it's him. Nobody knows for definite if it's him, but there is a clip going around
He's played it politically.
in which Raul Jimenez was mentioned as a potential
that's what I
signing,
was
which
gonna say.
makes me also doubt the validity of this thing. Let's be honest. You're going to take Fulham's starting striker, are you? Okay.
Yeah, to be fair though, on Sunderland Till I Die, then Stuart Donald's talking about him signing Zlatan.
Why am I looking at Zlatan Ibrahimovic here? Back to the Acca then. We're taking Hull. I think we've got a nice treble so far of 3 home teams, above 3-1 as well. Happy? Everyone happy? There we go. Then the 3 teams we have so far as part of this week's Acca. We've got 2 from the FA Cup, 1 from Sky Bet League 2. We've got Mansfield to beat Crewe. We've got Hull to beat Birmingham. We've got Newport to beat Eastleigh. When we make up our Acca, you may want to Acca freeze one of these selections if you're not too sure. Here's Joe to tell you how.
One thing we've all got in common is having that one leg of an Acca let us down. From spending your winnings in your head to cursing that last-minute equaliser that broke your heart. But it doesn't have to be that way. Acca Freeze from Sky Bet gives you the power to freeze a winning score early. Even if that team goes on to lose, Sky Bet will settle it as a winner. It's time to take action. It's time to Acca Freeze and end the game your way. Visit skybet.com for full terms and conditions.
So we've got a treble so far then for this week's Acca, coming above 3.2-1 on the moment on the treble. It's Newport, Mansfield, Hull. Jimmy, we haven't heard from you first yet for a while. Where are you taking us to next?
Back to the FA Cup, some big prices.
Go on. Hit me
Well,
with
since I did my notes yesterday, both of these have shortened a lot, which... Well, I suppose we were on to something yesterday, but now it might be a bit dated. Gillingham against Sheffield United, they were 13-2, now 11-2.
This made my long list of shocks I didn't include, but I did like it.
Yeah, well,
Potential.
I just wanted to talk about it because I think it's interesting. Maybe not Acca-worthy, but Wilder is not a big fan of cup competitions. In his original stint at United, 8 cup competition games, first round, that's League Cup and FA Cup, got knocked out in the first round of 3. One of those came against non-league Barnet, so he's got pedigree.
At Bramall Lane as well.
Yes.
I remember that one. Yeah.
Also, Fylde ran as close the following season. We beat them 2-1, but I believe all the goals came in the second half. It was a lot closer than it should have been. And it comes at an interesting time for United because Wilder talked after the last Premier League game. He says he's got a 21-day gap into his next Premier League game. He's really looking forward to getting on the training ground and working with the players. Now, I'm not sure if that means he's going to use this cup competition as an opportunity to implement some of those sort of tactical tweaks or whatever, or if he's just going to look at it as 3 weeks, let's get on the training ground, not concentrate on this game at Gillingham. I think it's going to be the latter, where he's going to leave out all the big hitters and just...
United have got big hitters.
Well, the first team players. Oh, he started. Good. He supports Wednesday, I support United.
No.
We have fun.
What are they like?
But I do think...
Bert and Ernie were the other two old blokes on Sesame Street.
No, but I do think the latter. So I'm interested in Gillingham, although they have shortened the point. I just don't know if it put them in the Acca.
I wouldn't put them in the Acca, but I definitely think it would. I think when we say we're struggling for teams, I'm definitely all for hearing outsiders that you potentially may want to include. I think I'd have Gillingham in that,
Yeah, it was bugging me, like almost exactly how Jimmy's described it, because I was thinking Sheffield United because of the way that the price had moved, and I could see them thinking we just need to win a match, and start to like get a bit of rhythm and implement a few of the changes that he's trying to, and I'm not sure he'd want to write off a game to not win.
I don't think they ever do that. It just catches you cold, don't you, when you make loads of changes, particularly away.
So I think that they'll play a strong enough team to win it, and he will never ever say it, but they're getting relegated. Like,
how dare you?
So they'll never say that.
Sorry, Jim Rob, it's the 4th of January, but
they want to try.
Don't bother.
Build up some momentum this season, in the Premier League as much as they can. But their most realistic way of building up that momentum is by doing well in the Cup. So I think that he won't want to write off doing well in the Cup and getting knocked out by Gillingham in the 3rd round. I can't see it.
I think they've started to show signs of adapting Gillingham, haven't they, from both their own managerial change, but then the style change that comes with that under Clements, and maybe they're starting to see it a bit now. Enough on that game.
Yeah, and we just got to think...
So much. This is the second disagreement in terms of results we've had, and I can't recall any where we go, I don't like that. We go, no. I'm back in the other team. That's the second one. Both involving Jimmy, interestingly.
I mean, I personally would have Sheffield United in.
No.
Yeah.
Nah. I just can't have. The one thing I'm massively hesitant on in the FA Cup, and it's weird this season because a lot of the outsiders are the away teams. You usually feels like you get more underdogs hosting the bigger Premier League sides, and it seems the other way around. I know this is one of them. Always massively hesitant because I'd say they televised 6. I know this isn't televised, but they say there's six games or whatever over the 3rd round weekend, and they're always kind of like this. Apart from ITV, Palace, Everton, disgrace. Sort yourself out. But you always get games like where Sheffield United would win this 3-0 5 times out of 6, but then there is always one of the 6 where someone gets done 2-1 or 1-0. This could be it.
Of course it could be, yeah.
I'm just hesitant. This just has all the hallmarks of the cup set. Give Emirates £10 for saying the phrase.
Possibility of those games being like that is why Sheffield United are 4-7 to win at a team that's 3 divisions below them, which, I mean, that makes no sense from a market perspective at all. So it does give you that opportunity to get a team that is superior in every single way on side. Because, I mean, what ought they be? 1-8, really, when we're just talking about actual ability?
1-8.
But
they're rubbish.
then you've got to factor in, like, what you've said. I mean, this is Sheffield United who were, like, seconds away from beating Aston Villa a couple of weeks ago. Under Chris Wilder away from
they should have got annihilated in that game.
So,
any other day they get cliched. On another day they get hammered. Should we move on? Because it's not neither.
I get Joe's point. I quite like
Sheffield United aren't going in. Because we got 2 people here who like Gillingham.
7 at home to Walsall, and
at home, yeah,
a league below. There's
and I don't.
much between.
And I don't. I wouldn't. I fancy Walsall to get something.
Oh, here we go.
Sorry, Blades.
It's not happening because there's too much disagreement. You can't convince the way this is going. 2 of us can't convince the other 2 to then switch allegiances to back this either way.
Can't believe we're still talking about it.
Yeah, can we move? Jimmy, chuck another one, please. Move it on.
Of a similar vein, Chesterfield at Watford, another one.
Ooh, I don't like this game at all.
Money's come for it massively.
I'd love it more if it was at Chesterfield.
I know, that's going
to be so good as a
going to
cup
be how I
set
rounded off my whole argument.
Well, we've got to the point.
You finished it then, yeah?
Yeah.
All right, move on.
I just love Paul Cook. And
enough for that, yeah. I hate this game. Anyone else? Anyone want to chuck one in? It's an open invite.
I don't have anything.
You out of
nothing
teams?
from the
Oh
FA
my
Cup.
God.
I have absolutely nothing from the FA Cup that I want to back.
I mean, I've got a few in the National League, but
Came without any data.
You just
him squirm.
hate the FA Cup, man.
How can anyone hate the FA Cup? It's the best competition.
No, I love it.
Give me
It's
league
the
football.
best competition going.
This is how me and Duffman operate every week. No data. Just see something we're like, man.
I just feel it in my bones.
The one I liked was
It's-
Stenhouse Mule, but no one wants to
Oh,
go near it.
no. I just feel it in my bones, a lot of these results.
What you got then?
That's what
What have you got in your bone then, Thomas?
Oh dear.
I think I'm out of FA Cup. Yeah, I don't think there's anything in the FA Cup because all my other ones come from the non-3pmers, which is annoying because that's when the good games are. Can I take you to the National League?
Always.
If you like,
So
mate.
we can go National League, but we can't go Scottish
Yeah.
Leagues. This is outrageous.
Yeah, National League's on telly. Watch
Scottish League's on telly.
which telly?
Highlands TV.
Oh, right. I don't think I get that on the.
No, you need one of them.
yeah. Let's immediately end the conversation before anyone gets arrested.
No, you need one of them really long aerials. Now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what I was going to say. Yeah.
Oh, in here.
I've got two. Rochdale, Kidderminster. Rochdale to beat Kidderminster 21-20. I'm not entirely sure on this price, to be honest. I don't think Rochdale are a brilliant team, but then Kidderminster are terrible as well. I'm beating them 5 now at home as well, Rochdale, to be fair to them. Kidderminster have won 2 of 13 away games. I mean, I could tell you they're not a great team. They're bottom of the league. What else do you want me to tell you? But it's not going to be a classic, don't get me wrong, but it's a price that, again, doesn't make an awful lot of sense for a team who just haven't travelled well. Have struggled against one that won't make top 7, but they're in the picture.
What do you mean it's not going to be a classic? Do you mean it's going to be low scoring? Scrappy?
Oh, I think it'd be Rochdale should in theory.
What does he mean?
I mean, it's going to be shit, right? It's Rochdale v Kidderminster.
Is Rochdale Kidderminster ever going to be a classic?
Maybe. You never know. But to me, it's 21-20 you get him. You get an odds against on the home team here against a bad team anyway, but one who travelled just poorly. And like I said, I'm going to add the disclaimer that Rochdale aren't the most brilliant team in the world. Shock horror, but absolutely should get the job done here. The other one I will chuck at you from the National League. Solihull to beat Woking. Really good game on New Year's Day if you caught this. They were away at Chesterfield as part of the home-away double headers that you get. They beat Chesterfield. They then went 2-0 up away at Chesterfield. And then something happened for 5 minutes where they just collapsed and lost 3-2.
What the hell did happen?
What the hell happened there?
He's got 3-6 minutes.
They've collapsed. Solihull, really nice team, actually. Their first goal, lovely move, finished off very well there as well. I was getting a bit, not worried. I don't care if they go up or not. No interest, no affiliation to the club. But in terms of their own form and how they're going on, they had that dip. And then they beat Chesterfield. And then they nearly beat them again away from home. Gives me a bit of confidence against Woking. Who, again, are a playoff contender. But 5-4, you're getting on a team who are looking... They're not going to unseat Chesterfield. I don't think anyone is, but they're looking to be a team who finish in that second or third spot. Get, obviously, the advantage in the playoffs that go with that as well. And the only point I had on Solihull is, do you know who their director of football is?
Can you give us a clue?
Played for Burnley. Played for Wolves. Played for Ireland. Was a fullback.
You're going to have to be more...
Stephen Ward.
Stephen Ward is their director of football. And that's all I have to say on Solihull.
That means we should get him in the Acca.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. You can get 5-4 on Solihull to beat Woking, or you can get 21-20 on Rochdale to beat Kidderminster. You're basically pushing up the league here. You've got good team, decent team, bad team, terrible team.
It's mad that Solihull have got a director of football and Man United haven't, isn't it?
Do they want Stephen Ward?
Yeah.
Hands off.
Doing a great job, clearly.
Out of the two, I think you believe in Solihull more, to be honest.
Or
I wasn't.
Solihull more.
I'm not even sure you convinced yourself in backing Rochdale.
It's not that I think they'll win, but the problem is when I know Solihull are just a better team than Rochdale, obviously. So that's how do you then convince yourself? I don't know where I'm going with this sentence.
Not in my skill set, these games.
It's what you've been doing for the last hour, isn't it? No, I think Solihull Moors. I like that pick a lot.
The only other one I had was Bromley, but I think that price is too short now.
Bromley.
We're away at Maidenhead, and they are absolutely flying at the moment, Bromley. Doing really well.
Yeah, not sure.
But they were, when I did the notes the other day, they were 29-20, so...
Should we get on board Wealdstone, by the way? So just to chuck, while we're talking National League, I just want to chuck this out there. Remember we said, you might have been away at this point, Wealdstone's away travels, they were diabolical on the road, right? Santa Claus has bought them a nice fixture list over the festive period. He goes, don't travel too far, lads. Treat yourself. Don't get on the coach all the way up there. Let's have you some local games. And by God, have they been winning games of football. I had it in front of me, now I've lost it. But they have been winning away. I'm not saying back them, but I just want to give them the credit. They've gone to Maidenhead, Billericay in the trophy, Dagenham, and they've won all there as well. So well done. Short journeys do work.
Wealdstone.
More importantly, they're not going in anyway. So it's completely irrelevant. Other teams I want to hear just before we commit to anything. I want to do I like what we did over the festive period where we were remote in various other dogs ruining rooms or people's garages that are offices. And we were just saying, lay them all on the table and we'll kind of have a bit of a scramble of which teams we like.
I ain't got anything that's going to be around the similar price to what's been suggested for the National League. So I don't think there's going to be any kind of competition. Super short Plymouth to win at home to Sutton.
Yeah.
Borough to win at home to Villa, which is a bigger price. I can see Villa just writing that game off. Too many games for them.
Yeah,
I backed like a 2-week break after that game.
I backed Villa to win the FA Cup last year and they got done by Stevenage in the first round at home. So when it comes to outright tips, that's up there for me. That's up there.
Bristol Rovers to win at Norwich. And then Stoke to beat Brighton, similar reason to the Borough to beat Villa.
Brighton have no players, do they?
So I just think Brighton are going to... I mean, you don't know who they've got in the reserves. The next Venezuelan winger.
He'll win the Ballon d'Or in 3 years because that's how they work.
But
Selwood kid's come in and is like the best fullback in the league. He's a centre midfielder, apparently.
And Stoke are actually getting a bit better. Unbeaten in, is it 5 or 6 matches now? So, that just feels like a potential one to get on the side. 5-1 as well. But I don't see any of them going in the Acca, so it was all pointless.
I lied to you. I do have one more from the National League. John Oxford City at 18-5 to beat Hartlepool because Lenny Lawrence is in charge of Hartlepool at the age of 76. I only put this in because I wanted to mention
Not done Roy Hodgson and Neil Warnock any harm, mate. 76. His first job was at Charlton in 1982. He's the Plymouth caretaker in 1979. And 19 years since his last permanent role. He's been doing a bit of advisory stuff. So permanent managerial role,
managerial
though. Assistant manager to Phil Brown.
He was. Yes, permanent managerial role there as well. And to be fair to Oxford City, they won 2 of the last 4 away. But it's not going in. But I just wanted to mention that because it was a nice story that's come out over the past few days in terms of managerial stuff. Any others from anyone before we kind of settle it? Because so far we do definitely have Newport, Mansfield and Hull are definitely the 3 teams that we've got in. I know it got a bit jumbled there of what we've got. Solihull, I'm leaning towards putting in. I think I do like the price on that one at 13-10 for a good home
the price
team.
drift. So it was 6-5 yesterday, and it's now moving out. So.
Even better, give it me more. Don't want to investigate why. Just
don't
give
know
me the
about.
Value. Well, I've been looking at it. There's nothing major, in terms of the teams.
We're going to do better than them 2 National League ones. Let's be honest.
The only ones I had were just outsiders. I want to show out Colchester at Swindon. Because I like the mystery of Colchester now. They got rid of Matty Everington and Swindon have lost 32 goals between them in the last week. And Jake Young going back to Bradford and Dan Kemp going back to MK Dons as well. So, bad team anyway. Their goals were basically keeping them up at the moment as it turned out. But maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe it is that they're...
What price is Colchester?
Colchester are 2-1, but they are the away team. And frankly, can't
get on side with Colchester.
It's speculation, isn't it? We don't know what to expect. And we're basically going Swindon's 2 main goal threats. 2 of the 4 top scorers in League 2 were on loan and they've lost them both.
Yeah,
it's worth opposing for a bit. I don't know.
I had a look at that and I just thought it's just two teams. There's just so many unknowns with both of them.
I mean, to be fair, if you want the 5 home teams that we mentioned there, the 5 teams we mentioned, including the 2 from the National League, that is 5 home teams. You've got Newport, you've got Mansfield, you've got Hull, you've got Solihull, you've got Rochdale as well. And you're looking around 19-1-ish, 20-1-ish on the Acca there. Obviously pre-boost.
If it's good enough for you. It's good enough for me. I'm just.
Need some enthusiasm here. Come on.
I ain't got any
Looks
more
good.
options. I like both the National League ones. I said that.
Yeah, I liked your enthusiasm for it.
Yeah.
If you're happy, I'm happy.
It's a lot of pressure for these National League teams to deliver. If they don't, I will not be here next week.
It's gonna be my New Year's resolution is to read up more on the National League.
Oh, it's
Really good.
brilliant.
Honestly,
And I was really into it
Not a
last year.
chore. It's not a chore. You
Yeah.
just put it on and
Loved
you're
it.
like, wow.
But because of the title race last year, I loved it. I was into it every week. But this year, because Chesterfield is just running away with it.
Chesterfield was 7-2 to win the league at the start of the season, by the way.
Yeah,
It's hilarious.
a bit of a meh.
I doubled them up with Gillingham in League 2, so that's a bet that's going to win. Yeah, I think I like this.
Sign it off and Garvey.
Happy?
I'm happy.
Well, it wasn't too bad. We hate the you hate the FA Cup. We like it. For betting wise, we didn't like this weekend. I think we've come up with a nice fivefold there. Enthusiastic, yes. Yeah.
Yes.
There we go. This is what I want. It's gone quiet on that side of the
back
desk.
it.
Let's get into it. Come on.
I want
Good rallying call. Let's
So
go.
I want to know how Jimmy's chickens are getting on because he bought 5 chickens right before we broke for Christmas and he didn't tell the podcast.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I didn't say it on podcast before. Well, I had.
He had it written
5.
down on a note as well to tell everyone about his chickens and he forgot.
What's going on with him?
I had 5 before
Uh-oh.
Christmas. But
Hello.
I think there was an error putting them to bed. Fox got in, got the lot. It's a shame because 2 of them were actually retired veterans. Laying days were over. Fluffy feet. They all gone. They all went. Fox had a good Christmas. But we've got 3 new ones now. Just textbook chickens. They're not quite old enough to lay, so just in the nursing sort of stage, getting them ready.
Oh, you've kept him away from new Chicken Run film.
Have you seen it?
I
What
have,
a
mate, yeah.
disappointment.
I know.
It's a shame.
You get all that nostalgia from the original and then you can't turn a chicken into a nugget that fast.
No.
Layering plot holes for me.
Well, at least we got the title of the show. Chicken nuggets.
Anyway, thanks for tuning in to the latest episode of this week's Acca. A nice happy ending to go there. Let's recap the 5 teams to get back onto football and not chicken-related chat. The 5 teams we have settled on for this week's Acca, coming up around the 19-1-ish marker. We've got Newport to beat Eastleigh. We have Hull to beat Birmingham in the FA Cup. From Sky Bet League 2, we've got Mansfield to beat Crewe. And then dropping down into the National League, as we like to do, we've got Solihull to beat Woking. And we have got Rochdale to beat Kidderminster. 5 home teams back there. And as we always say, remember to keep it fun, never bet more than you can afford, and please gamble responsibly. Make sure you get in touch with us in the comments or on social media. Search Sporting Life Football and you'll be able to find us that way. Let us know your thoughts on those selections. And a slight difference this week, head over to sportinglife.com/football at 3 p.m. on Friday to find the link to back that one at an enhanced price. And if you haven't already, please follow and rate us on iTunes, Spotify, or your chosen podcast provider. Is there midweek games next week? I haven't looked at the fixture list. No.
Just the Carabao semi-first leg, that's all.
Of course it is. Yes, we won't have an Acca for that. Not enough games to go out, so we'll be back with you next Thursday.